Hey people, just a little word or two in your ears. I won't be long, but I gotta come on strong, got to make it clear. My dears, now's the time to ditch the blues. Time to let it go like a old pair of shoes and breathe. Press rewind. Take your mind, take it to a better time and breathe. Hey, what's good, people, man? Platinum Bearded Dread. Thought I'd just have my guitar with me. Question, man. Are you breathing? Now, I can hear some of you guys saying, well, duh, of course I'm breathing, otherwise I wouldn't be here. But no, really though, are you really breathing? I mean, deep breathing. It's interesting because I said this in one of my other posts that when you study the breathing pattern of a baby who's closer to nature, they breathe from the bottom part of a diaphragm. So when you watch them breathing, you only see the bottom part going up and down. You don't see the chest area, the higher part, the upper part going up and down, which is a proper way to breathe because you're accessing full capacity of your lungs and therefore taking as much oxygen as you can. But they do it naturally, and that's what we all did naturally. But somewhere along the line, we picked up, I don't know, bad habits. So the average person, maybe yourself included, breathes almost from the chest up. Being a singer, that was one of the first things that I corrected, because I had no idea, just like most people, that, real breathing is from the bottom up. So now it happens naturally. And you can actually change that. If you're mindful of how you're breathing and then make an effort to breathe deep down, you find over time you'll be doing it naturally. And it will almost feel strange to breathe from the upper chest area. But there's something very mystical and magical about breathing, man, and powerful about breathing that we really, really overlook. I mean, you think about it, yeah? Breathing fixes a multitude of problems, man. Like, we're talking posture. The Alexandra technique involves a lot of breathing. We're talking anything to do with nerves, whether that's a nervous, whether that's nerves in regards to, about to perform or speak in public or just in general, hyperactivity, what else? Any kind of speech impediments, problems with sex, like premature ejaculation and things like that. Things regarding sex. What else does breathing fix? Digestion. So there's so many things that breathing plays an integral, is that the right word? Integral, whatever the word is, man, but you know what I'm saying, part in regards to what we do every day that can make it better. And I don't think that's an accident. And it's something that we all do. We kind of overlook it. We just breathe. But we never really stop to consider the magic and the power in breathing. I mean, think about the fact that of all things, water, food, it's the breath that the human will expire the quickest if it's denied that. Also the fact that, you can't talk without breathing. So every time you're communicating, you're breathing, man. But it's this silent kind of, it's a silent kind of ability that we don't give no credit to. And we don't realize that maybe the answer to many things that we're seeking lies in the breath. When we're troubled with something and we want to find a way to fix it, rarely do we take time aside and just go in the quiet of our minds, sit down in pure silence and just breathe. And I know that's part of the the reasoning behind meditation, which I know is powerful because I've tried it a few times, but I slipped in off and on. But there's a reason why the breath is the central part of meditation, because what it does is it makes you aware of all the thoughts that come and go that we're totally unaware of on a day-to-day basis, that cause stress on levels that we can never even imagine. And it isn't until we take time to consciously breathe and focus on the breath that those distracting thoughts, the multitude of thoughts that still come and go, but they don't stay so long. And imagine if we had the power to use breath to not necessarily control the thoughts, but be able to just let it come and go, and therefore focus on the things we choose to focus on. Because it seems so hard to focus these days because there's so many distractions, and the ability to be able to just up and down breathe over and over until you get to a point where you can choose what you home in on. All those other things that they're coming and going, but it's like a cloud when you see it just pass. You're not clinging to that cloud, you're just letting it pass. So it doesn't get in the way of where your main focus needs to be. And imagine how much we could achieve by that. Imagine if we were told that humble, silent, but powerful breath is the closest thing to God, the closest thing to Allah, Jah, Jehovah, whatever word you want to use. But imagine that. Imagine how much more serious we would take the breath if we were told that very breath, that silent, humble, powerful, mysterious breath is actually God itself, or Him, herself. And the way to access the power of God and to access the presence of God is to be as close and as in tune to that breath as you can be. And therein lies the answers to achieving anything you want. Not necessarily just materialistically, or that be included, but I'm talking about the real things that we want, like love, purpose, those kind of higher kind of aspirations, if you like, simply by trying to get as close to the breath as we can. Imagine how much more seriously we would take the breath. Because ultimately, we're going to breathe anyway until it's time to expire, as it were. But it almost feels like we're only living a snippet of our potential. I mean, it's not an accident that the word inspiration has in its roots the word inspire, to breathe in. So all these things ain't coincidence. And it's something that, for me anyway, humbles me when I think about, you hear people draw their last breath. Something that we take for granted on a daily basis, me included. And you hear that person drawing their last breath, and the idea that they either breathed out for the breath never to come back in again, or they breathed in and they never breathed out again. Powerful stuff, man. And maybe we need to be like babies again, where we're naturally in tune with the fullness, the depth of breathing. And that maybe we need to rewind things back, go from shallow breathing back to the deep breathing that we all started with. And then maybe that will bring us back to our essence of what we all are, away from all this distraction, all this madness. Because ultimately, every baby seems to go through the same thing, whereby they're breathing deep. And then as they grow, and all the distraction of this world, the breathing becomes more and more shallow at a time when we need it most, especially like now. And maybe we need to press rewind, take your mind, take it to a better time and breathe. I want to end on one of my favorite Sufi quotes. Sufis are like the mystics of Islam. They pay less focus on the rituals and more on the meaning behind the rituals. And although they're most synonymous with Islam, you can find them in all religions, you know, Christianity, Buddhism, because they all speak the same language. And the saying is, we enter this world on a breath, and we exit this world on a breath. So, breathe, my friend. Platinum Bearded Dread. Tales in my house, man. Oh yeah, don't forget, hit the like button, subscribe or something, and we'll do this again. Cheer, man.